everybody know the session will be recorded. So hi everybody. Here we are again. I have no idea what's happened to the last 4 weeks. I think it just vanished somewhere. Luckily, things have been really busy, which is great. So we'll do our usual. We'll do the introductions. We'll let you know what we're talking about today, and then hopefully fair bit of chance to chat amongst ourselves about what's going on in our stores, etc.
Well, and look at doing something with our customers. So that's quite an interesting concept that I want to explore. And I did start making a lot of videos last year about, topics like ashwagandha or mushrooms and vitamin D. I did. And I think that's something, and like you, I love being lost on my shelves. I can make them look pretty till the cows come home. But it's thinking about making a video for me kind of almost sends a certain level of dread. I can't even watch back some of these because I think, oh no, Vicky, you said that. So but the to-do list is definitely there, and there's so much that we can do in marketing. And like I said, as you're saying newsletters, I'm thinking, yeah, that's another one on the list. So we're all in the same boat, really. We've got to take leaves of some of the big boys and what they're doing, how they do, and how we can implement that into kind of moving forward. So I'm really interested in what Theresa is going to talk to us today, because I think we can learn so much from other people and how they do things and how I can start implementing that more. The more we know, the more we grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, so we've got the marketing side of it, but we've also got at the moment, despite the fact things are going better perhaps than we expected, we can't necessarily claim that it's easy. Independent retail is never easy. No. So I think it's really understanding a little bit more about how we buy things and being efficient in that, because for me that's always a bit of a trade-off as well. It's great to get, say it's a good show deal, that's all great, but of course then that's locking up your cash flow. So, and you don't want products on the shelves that you don't sell. So it's it's kind of how we think through all of that. But then also I think how we bring that back as well, and how we put that in our stores, so how we make that attractive for our customers. So there's always loads of things we can be doing. So I guess in a sec we'll hand over to Theresa. It would be hopefully everyone's going to natural products, and we will see quite a lot of people there. We will be there. So I'll be there on Sunday afternoon and Monday morning, and you'll be there Sunday, Vicky, won't you? And we've got the stand. Avril, will you be there? Give us a no. So between us, between the committee, we'll be on the stand over the weekend. So if anybody does get a chance to pop down and say hello, it's always nice to meet people in person, definitely. So let's hand over to Theresa, and then hopefully at the end we will have a little bit of time, because it is always good to chat amongst ourselves in terms of what's happening in our stores. I think that's always been a real key thing for these sessions, is there's just kind of, we're in this together, so let's share some ideas and see what we can do. So are we okay to hand over, Theresa, if you're ready?
Yeah. Shall I share my screen straight away so I know that's out of the way and done? And it did work when we tested it just now. So
excellent.
I'm going to put myself on mute.
Yes, it works. Right. Let me just move all of us out of the way so I can actually see. All right, thank you. So first of all, thank you for inviting me to give this webinar. And I hope, I'm sure a lot of what I say will actually be common sense, but I think all of us, as Vicky said, we get so bogged down with doing 101 different things and wearing lots of different hats that sometimes we forget what we know, or we've just never even thought of what might be the obvious. So what I want to share with you tonight is a few ideas of ways that you can get the most out of the promotions that are coming into your store without cutting into massive profits, without costing you lots of time and effort as well, but hopefully actually building maybe your customer base, building your promotions, and just expanding what you do. I think we're an industry of very, very dedicated people, and we do an awful lot, and we actually play a very valuable role in the community. But we can actually forget that sometimes we need to look outside our doors and look a little bit more, or even look back at our stores as a consumer would. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I've spent over 40 years in this industry. 10 of those were as a retailer. So I know what it's like to stand on the shop floor, deal with all the wonderful customers and the not so wonderful customers, and at the same time try and put the orders away, deal with staff, sort out price changes and everything else. So I've never actually lost my love of retail. And although I don't do it very often these days, I still love the moment when I can actually go and stand on a shop floor and actually sell to the consumers, because that's still a very, very special part of what we do. I've been with Natural Trade Brokers since the start, so they've been going about 12 years or so now. And with that gives us the opportunity to work with so many different brands that might be big established brands, they might be new brands, they might be just complete startups that just pop in because they want some exposure to the trade. But what it does is give us the opportunity to bring lots of different promotions to you, the retailer. So what I was hoping to do tonight is take some of the things that we've learned by dealing with those brands and dealing with the retailers, put it all together and give you some ideas that you might go, oh yeah, I know that. Or it might be, I've forgotten that, I could do that. Or it could be something totally new. And I think, as Vicky and Joe were saying at the beginning, it's nice to actually share our experiences as well, because something might work for you, might not work for someone else, but on the other hand, they might be able to take your idea and just tweak it slightly and try something different. There are a few photographs in the presentation. They are all from stores. We take lots of photographs as we go around the stores because the suppliers like to see. So they're just to illustrate, a little bit of what's out there and what people are doing. So first of all, how can you make the most of every sales visit? We're a small industry. We all know each other. Some of us have known each other for a long, long time. It's great when the rep turns up, you sit down and you have a cup of tea and you have a chat. But you need to also make sure you're focusing on the real reason they're there, which is, what are the promotions they're going to give you? What do those promotions really mean? Don't just go, yes, I'll have 6 of those, 2 of those, and 1 of those. How is it going to work for you? Does that give you an extra 25% in your till on every sale? Or is that something you can use to generate a new sale that ultimately will lead to an increased profit? Is there free stock available? What can you actually do with it? Could you use it to attract new customers, maybe sampling something, or maybe running a promotion where they get something free? Or can you use it to reward your existing customers? I've seen stores do things that can work quite well, whereas everyone that spends over X amount gets a little goodie bag with a few samples in and some leaflets and that sort of thing. Years ago, when we all used to supply carrier bags through the store, we'd do a lot of bag stuffing. And so you'd always have that opportunity to put your herbal tea bags in, to put your leaflets in. We don't do that now because the majority of people are bringing their own bags. So sometimes you've got to create something to give back. And sometimes it's nice to reward those customers that are always supporting you. What point of sale is available and will you use it? Now, that's not how will you use it, it's will you use it? So much point of sale gets wasted, gets stuck in the stock room. You find it 10 years later when the branding has changed, or it ends up just going in the recycling, which is costing you money when you've got to pay to have it taken away. I'm finding now that a lot of companies are being a lot more cautious about what they're producing with their point of sale, because they'd rather produce a few nicer bits that someone's going to use than print 5,000 posters where only 200 are going to be used. And within Natural Trade Brokers, we actually encourage a lot of our suppliers to say, have a think about what you're doing. Don't produce masses. Produce some really good stuff and a smaller number. So when you're offered point of sale, think about how it's going to work for you and where you can use it most effectively, rather than just take everything in and now find you've got some rubbish you've got to clear. Can you get a bespoke promotion for your store? Now, this could be something that you've never really thought of because you think, oh, the deal that I'm being offered, that's it. But actually, next month, I've got a really big promotion going on or activity going on in the store, wouldn't it be great to have a special offer that's just for my store? I might have to buy a lot of product, or I might have to do a certain mix of products, but you will find that a lot of brands will actually do one-off bespoke promotions. Some of them even have set ones that are always available, but it's one of those secret deals almost that you actually have to ask for. And so it might be a bigger investment cash-wise, you might be buying more product, but it could be something that suddenly you've got a special promotion that fits in with some activity you're doing, and it's different from the run-of-the-mill. What does that new product taste like, smell like, feel like? When you're given samples, don't just stick a price sticker on it and put it on the shelf, which is very easy to do. And then you've got one single product sitting there that doesn't sell. So then you think, oh, that product didn't sell. We all know consumers hate to buy the last product that's on the shelf. So if you've got a single sample, stick it in the staff room. If you've got a box of herbal tea bags, get the staff to try it. Give a few out to your customers that are buying your herbal teas. Chop up that new snack bar. If you've got some supplements and one of your team takes that type of supplement, ask them to try it. Because that anecdotal evidence and that third-party testimonial can go a really big way in helping the rest of your team actually recommend that product. And so don't be afraid to actually use it. You know, the easy option is, I'll put it on the shelf. Think about what you're doing with it, because you can be amazed at just that sampling, or just that even the staff getting enthused about a product. We all know if we love a product, we sell more of it. So get people to try it, get your staff to understand it. It amazes me how many stores I go into where you go into the toilet and there's a bottle of Sainsbury's hand wash in the bathroom. And you walk into the store and you've got a massive array of hand washes and soaps there. So many shops are not even using their own products. So it's little bits like that that the staff then try it and use it, recommend it to the consumers. So it might be obvious, but sometimes those little bits can make a big difference. One of the key ways of making your promotion work is plan and do some more planning. We've already heard earlier Vicky and Joe saying about, you know, newsletters or your social posts and things like that. If you can set out some sort of plan, suddenly it becomes that bit easier and it becomes part of your routine and part of your habits. Then it happens, not so much without you trying, but without it being something that gets pushed to the bottom of the list as not very important. Have some sort of promotions calendar so that everyone in the store knows what's coming up. Don't just have it that one person knows. Maybe have a designated promotions area. So again, your consumers get used to going, let's look and see what's on offer this month or this week. And also it becomes easier to manage. Something quite important when you're doing promotions, especially if you bought in stock, especially for it, know your start and finish dates, or know what amount of stock was bought in on the deal. So you're only using your promotional stock if you're selling at a discount, rather than then carrying on selling at a discount and it's your stock you didn't buy on promotion and eating into your profits. So little things like that can make a big difference to the effectiveness of your promotion. Don't do everything yourself. There could be someone in your team that has a creative flair for your social posts, or for a display, or for building beautiful windows, or even just creating that, looking after that area in store. Use the skills of the team that you've got, rather than thinking, I've got to sort all the promotions or I've got to do all the social posts. Very often someone's sort of bursting to go and have a try at something different. They enjoy what they're doing, takes a weight off your mind, and you know the job will get done. When I was a store manager, my big love was being on the shop floor and actually selling. I hated the paperwork. So I actually employed an assistant manager who was brilliant at paperwork, loved the paperwork, was more than happy to spend all day in the office sorting that out so I could be on the shop floor selling. It's using the skills of the people that you've got. You don't have to think, oh, I'm the manager or I'm the boss, I've got to do all of that. Decide how your promotion might work. Are you going to give money off, or are you going to give something extra with purchase? Buy one half price. Have a consideration, though, for what you're actually offering. That if you offer a buy one, get one, and that's 2 packs of 30 vitamin C's or 60 vitamin C's, you might not see that customer for 2 months or 4 months because they've now got everything they need. Could you get better sales by saying, I've bought it in on a buy one, get one, but I'm going to sell it back out on a 50% off? Sell it as a half price offer or even 25% off, because you'll reach a wider range of people and it's only going to last them a month. So they've got to come back and get the next one. Making a feature of it in store is obviously important, and our customers do love a new idea or being pointed in a new direction, something that they haven't thought of before, because we all get the same habit when we're doing our shopping. We buy the same thing week after week. We don't always have time to go and have a wander, but if it's slap bang in front of us, we notice it, and maybe that will take us in a different direction. Simple things such as if you've got your dried pulses on promotion, you could actually stack it high with lentils and chickpeas, or you could actually present a ready sort of meal, as it were, and put your sauces there and your rice and your spices, your tinned beans, tomato puree, your stock cubes. They don't all have to be on promotion, but suddenly that consumer might think, yeah, I'm buying the chickpeas because they're on special offer, but actually look at those spices, look at those stock cubes, and suddenly the basket spend is going up. We're coming into the time, hopefully, the weather improving, the sun care deals are starting to appear. So don't just stack high with your sun cream, put in your aloe vera gel, your after sun, your travel sizes of the moisturizers and the body wash and all of that sort of thing, shampoo. So suddenly you're presenting your customer with everything they need for their holiday. It's not just a case of, oh, great, I've got a bargain on the sun cream. And as I say, not everything has to be on promotion. It can just be that suggestion of what else are you going to buy with this product. Maybe you can use the discount that you've had on the particular promotion product to actually transfer to something else that you'd like to get moving in store. So you've bought the lentils in on a deal, but instead of having 25% off the lentils, why not take that off the stock cubes? Suddenly, you're presenting your customers the opportunity to buy 2 products instead of 1. Buy your lentils, get your stock cubes on a special offer. And a lot of people will do that without thinking too hard. Look at what the supermarkets do. They're doing this sort of deal all the time. You can be creative and inventive with your discount. Using the point of sale, recipe cards, recipe links on your website. Please don't go and photocopy pictures of recipe books and stick those up, because that's breaking copyright rules. But have you got a member of staff that's good at cooking? Have you got a favourite family recipe that you could either put on a flyer or put on your website? Put a QR code on your shelf, let people scan it, point them to your website to find your favourite family recipes. A lot of firms now with foods are producing recipe leaflets, and we find within Natural Trade Brokers that actually retailers that have used them have really increased sales, because you're buying the product that goes with the booklet, but then you buy the other ingredients with it. So again, it's that extra way of putting more products in the basket. Obviously, try and make it eye-catching, use some props. It doesn't have to be super duper expensive, but you could put your bucket and spade in, or your blow-up beach ball for your sun care windows. You might have some testers or samples, and I think sampling and testing again is coming back. We're getting better at it, but maybe have a box of tissues handy or a hand sanitizer handy for people to use after them. It doesn't have to be big things. You can actually use very simple things within your store to make a difference. And this was a Facebook post from the Good Earth shop. This they put together for Pancake Day. It's a really good example how you can take just your normal products, might not be on promotion, make it look attractive, stick some lemons in there, stick a bunch of flowers in, but suddenly you've got half a dozen brands in front of your consumer and some ideas. You've got your peanut butter and your lemon juice, but you've also got, oh, look, we do vegan butter as well. And it just very simply, with one image, can actually show a consumer, look what I'm doing. You know, Tesco's, when it comes to Pancake Day, yes, they'll put the flour there and the lemons, but they'll put the frying pans and the tea towels and the spatulas. Create the whole image of what you're trying to say. And obviously, Health Stores UK will run various campaigns through the year, along with things like Healthy Does It. Make the most of joining in with those, because someone behind the scenes has done the hard work for you to actually give you a load of information, the tips and the ideas behind it. There is always at least one, probably at least 5 awareness days, months, weeks going on. These are just a few that are happening in April, and some ideas of how you could build a promotion around them. You've got stress awareness. So you've got supplements, you've got herbal teas, you've got essential oils. You could advertise a local yoga class, IBS awareness. You can give dietary advice. You've got supplements. You could highlight a dairy-free range. Again, it's just thinking a little bit differently about not necessarily a price promotion, but taking something else and making it a feature and a promotion. It's Garden Month. You might not sell much to do with gardening, but hang on, you do. You've got muscle relief gels, you've got glucosamine, you've got relaxing bath products. And something like Garden Month can be a theme for a very pretty window. So it doesn't have to be the obvious sort of ailment-related idea you're dealing with. It's National Walking Month. You've got foot creams, you've got joint supplements, you've got healthy snacks for the travel. So there's lots of different ways to actually maximize what's going on. And the great thing is, a lot of these weeks have a lot of publicity themselves, which you can tap into. You're not paying for all those resources, but suddenly you're part of something that's national. You've got all the obvious ones: Easter, Earth Day, Fair Trade Fortnight, Organic September, Christmas. You know, there's always something. And whether you have good old-fashioned paper diary, or whether you have an alert set up on your phone as to what goes on where, you can actually keep up to date with these things and use that to build your plan of what you're going to do over the next 3 months, 6 months. If you're really effective, you'll do it over a year. So tap into the buzz and the extra publicity that's around these events. If there's a particular association behind it, you might like to link to that organisation or that society within your social media. So, you know, stress awareness, there's stress.org, there's Mind, there's the Samaritans. It creates a post that's not just buy this product from us. It becomes, we're here to help you, we're here to support you. And as an industry, that's what we do. So Health Food Store, you become part of people's lives. And you can do that by going that extra mile rather than just promoting a sales pitch all the time. Always try and use the hashtags that are associated with these events, because people will search via hashtags. Websites, Instagram, Facebook, they tend to lump these things together. That suddenly broadens your reach. If your reach gets broadened, you come higher up with the algorithms, because Facebook and Instagram like what you're doing. You can, to your promotional plan, you can add in Veganuary, Fair Trade Fortnight, Organic September, these types of things. So when you're seeing the sales rep and they're saying to you, we've got organic herbal teas on special offer in August, you can look at your diary and think, oh, hang on, Organic September's coming up. I can buy this now. I've now got a ready-made promotion for September. This is just a slide that we have from Absolute Aromas, and they are very good at always tapping into the awareness months. These products are not on a price promotion, but they just look at their range, look at what's going on every month. They go, all right, March, Bed Sleep Awareness Week. We've got roll-ons, we've got bath products, we've got room sprays, we've got diffusers. You don't have to do a price promotion to create that buzz in your store. You can then take that for that week and use that on your social posts. You can have a little bit about it in your newsletter. So you can make one little thing work really hard for you. Keep it nice and simple. Stand back and look at your displays as a visitor would, as a consumer would. Is it easy to understand? Or is this promotion so confusing that you're not sure what you've got to buy to get what discount or free product, or have you got to send something off, or have you got to collect 20 vouchers? Try and keep it nice and easy. Keep the area clean and tidy. Might be really obvious, but if you've got a promotional table, don't use it as the table where you also balance the box on while you're stocking up on the shelves, because that passing customer now sees that as a table you're using to balance the box on while you're stocking up the shelves. They're not thinking, oh, look, there's a special offer. Are you going to designate someone to look after it, or are you going to have it as a sort of everyone keeps an eye on it, so when stock levels get low, you actually top it up? They keep it tidy. They make sure the leaflets still look nice. Have you got an end date in mind? Make sure you take it down. There is nothing more embarrassing than that customer arriving at the till with what they think is a special offer. Your EPOS system doesn't recognise it because the pricing's changed. You've run out of the free product that goes with it, and no one really knows what to do with it. So always switch it out when it's finished, and then get ready to set up the next one and do it all over again. But of course, you haven't got the space, which is perhaps one of the things we hear the most when we say to you, oh, we've got a great promotion on this. But you have. You might just need to be a little bit creative and look around the store. Now, windows are your obvious. If you've got a nice window, again, you can keep it fresh, you can keep it clean. You can use the till point. And I think a lot of stores now, if their screens are down, are finding that's a really good way for impulse buys or more expensive buys. You might have to work a bit harder to keep topping it up because you can't put a lot of products there, but it can be a very valuable selling space. Gondola end, again, is one of the obvious ones, but instead of just having it as a display that sometimes you put a promotion on, make it your permanent promotion area. So your consumers get used to going there. Oh, what have they got on promotion at the moment? What is their suggestion? What is their recipe idea for this month? Create the habits in your consumers and get them shopping as you would like them to shop. Can you take a small area within a shelf where you can clear a little bit of space? And actually, we're so used to block merchandising these days, but within that, can you have a little section that has one of each of half a dozen joint products, or 3 or 4 hair care products, just in a little area on its own, to, again, break up the shelves and make the consumer stop and think of something they might not have actually looked for. Companies love producing great big floors display units, and so often they bring them into the sales meetings and we all weep because they won't fit in the car. But on the other hand, some of them are very good and can create a really impactful display and have the advantage that you can move it around the store. So don't shy away from them, but maybe again consider, where can I put it? What can I do with it? Can I fill it? And make it an impactful display, because at the end of it, you can always take it down. But for the time it's been there, it's had quite an impact on the mind of your consumers. Perhaps cite the promotion in more than one place in store. So you've got a beautiful window with all your special offers in. Customer comes in, shopping list comes out, round the store they go, they've forgotten what they saw in the window. So if you can have that dual-sided product, or if you've got promotions on chilled products, can you get dummy packs and put a little find me in the fridge display up on a shelf somewhere or a gondola end? Sometimes, again, letting that consumer see it more than once can actually remind them they did see it and they do want to buy it. So here's just a selection of photographs of various ways that people have displayed promotions. Clip strips are great because you don't have to find shelf space. You can just find the end of a shelf to use it. You can have a small table that, again, you can move around the store. Just make it look pretty, use a cloth. Don't just have it as a dumping ground. use as till point, especially if it's a free gift with purchase product, because again, suddenly, oh, free, I like that. People will pop it in their basket. Maybe you can have something at the very front of your counter, which, okay, won't show when you've got a busy queue there, but for the other times, people walking up to the till will see that display area, and that can be another good impulse buy. Maybe in the centre of the store, you have got space to have a designated area with lots of one particular product. Perhaps you've got an area where you can put all your promotions and build a little promotions corner to actually, again, stack it up and promote it. Or maybe the packaging itself is so bold and loud that all you need to do is stack it up somewhere and it does the work for you. So it is a case of just, we all get into the same old habits of what we do. Sometimes you need to just shake yourself up a little bit and try something different. Now, it's quite interesting when Vicky said, don't be afraid of the big boys. Did you see my presentation? I've always been a big fan of actually looking at what other people do and learning from that. It might be a major supermarket. It might be a big high street health food chain, but you can steal their best bits. If you go in with an open mind and have a look at what they do. Now, years ago, when this high street chain had lots of franchise shops, they would pick where they went. They would look at where the good health food stores were, and they would open up a franchise in the same town. And it happened to me in the store that I was running. I used to find the manager hearing in my window in the evening to see what special offers we had on, because he thought he could match them. He never could, because we weren't tied to having to do what big corporation told us. We were able to do our own thing. So don't be afraid. One of the people, we've just had an NTB sales meeting, and one of the team was saying that a shop had another shop open up nearby. They'd actually had a big Planet Organic open up nearby. And instead of just running away and hiding, they started doing some promotions. Not only did the promotions sell, they actually increased their sales as well. So don't be afraid that something else is going on in your town. These supermarkets and big companies spend thousands of pounds on creating their plans, pinch their ideas, look at the different ways they might be displaying things, look for link selling ideas. What promotional techniques are they using? Is there something you could take? You're not doing the same promotion. You're taking away how they did it, and that could make a difference for you. They're always ahead of the game with seasonal promotion ideas. Easter eggs out at Christmas. They're months ahead of everyone else. But you can spot that to help you plan what's coming up. I'm not saying do it as early as they do, because I believe customers get bored, but it can just help remind you what's coming and what's new. Look at their free magazines. They always have the topical months in it, the awareness months. They'll have all the links you need to all the organisations. You can actually, not copy them, but you can actually take that information and use that as the basis for your own newsletters. And just think about it. If you can buy in on a deal where you could sell something at buy one, get one, that's a better deal than buy one, get one for a penny. Only buy 1 penny, but you're still selling a better deal than the shop down the road. Also, follow people like Aldi on Twitter. Some of these big companies, their social media teams are amazing. Aldi are so good. They are clever, they are witty, they will engage with other brands, with competitor brands in a very bold and brash way, but actually also restraining themselves just enough to keep on the side of professionalism. They know what they're doing. You can learn a lot about engagement and what to do and how to act if you watch these companies on their own Twitter feeds. Shout about it. Newsletters. Is it a paper one? Is it a digital one? You can host it on your website or your Facebook page. You can upload a PDF. So if you create a newsletter, you can actually save it as a PDF, upload it to your Facebook page. You then get an archive that people can go back to. MailChimp is free. It's a great way to communicate. It's free unless you've got thousands and thousands of names that you're mailing out. But the chances are you're not that sort of level. You will be using the free version. You can use it to communicate a special offer, your seasonal tips, how frequently you do it. You fit that into your plan. No one's telling you you've got to do it every week. It could be monthly, it could be quarterly. But if you have a plan, it is so much easier to stick to it rather than saying to yourself, oh, yes, I'll write one at some point. If you say to yourself, we're putting one together every 3 or 4 weeks, you'll actually stick to it and you'll be thinking ahead for your topics. Flyers, one of those things that you love or hate, but if they work for you, they can be brilliant. They can be a great way pass things on to consumers that you want them to keep, whether it's a recipe, whether it's special tips about something. But if you're going to pay to have flyers printed, please print on the back as well. It doesn't cost much more to have a double-sided print. You're not paying double to print on both sides. And if you don't print, you've wasted all that marketing space. So always pay that little bit extra and use the back as well, even if it's just photographs or your opening hours or your website and Facebook page details. Plan your social pages. How often are you going to post? Again, it's like the newsletters. No one's saying you've got to do it X amount of times a week. But if you can plan how you're going to plan your posts, how often you're going to do it, you can use scheduling on Facebook or something like Hootsuite. There's lots of free versions around. You could actually batch 3 or 4 together. If you're really organized, you can do 2 or 3 months. And then they're just ready. They'll roll, come out and come out and come out. All I would say is if you are going to schedule your posts a long way ahead, please be aware of what you're doing. Because if you've got something which at the time might have seemed a bit jokey or a little bit off the wall, and suddenly something hits the news, your post becomes very different. As an example of this, a friend of mine has a women's business group page. She batches all her posts. She will do 6 to 8 months in advance, which is very admirable until it goes wrong. And she'll do a lot of questions to create engagement. So, if you could cook anything for dinner tonight, what would it be? One of her posts was, if you could grab one thing from your house is on fire, what would it be? Now, on a normal time, she might find that just creates engagement. The post hit the day the news of the most awful wildfires in Australia hit. Her post goes, all the comments underneath it, oh, why are you saying this? This is awful. You've lost the plot, and whole thing, literally, it was just timing. So if you do plan ahead, keep an eye on what you're posting and be prepared to jump in and drag something out if need be. You don't have to be digital. You can use a chalkboard. It's simple, but it's effective. Is it just your opening hours? Is it, oh, look, we're stocking a new product? It can be as simple or as complicated as you want. And tell your customers what you do. Maybe they don't know you have a newsletter. Do you receive our newsletter? Have you seen our latest Facebook page? Are you following us on Instagram? You're just generating that conversation, which again, a lot of this is, we're probably doing this without thinking, but are we then, when we say, do you have a newsletter? And they go, no. Do we just leave it at that? Or do we find a way for them to sign up? Just be aware, if you are collecting details for newsletters, do make sure you're aware of data protection and GDPR. So if you're using something like MailChimp, the great thing about that is you get your sign up box, it's GDPR compliant, so all the hard work is done for you. Now, this is a way of trying to make your social posts easy. Now, I know from seeing your posts that a lot of you have amazing posts, and we've got some retailers that are very good at doing the videos and the jokey bits and things like that. It's worth having a look. But here's a very easy way to help you create 3 posts a week on any topic, but you use the same parameters for each one. So first of all, you're going to tell your audience what you have. So did you know we sell organic apples from the local farm? Then you're going to tell them how many different types you've got or something special about it. We've got 5 different varieties in the shop. Create the engagement. Which would you choose? Now, you'll get someone going, I don't like apples. You always get that with these sorts of posts. Don't get into a fight. Just let it go. You know, you can engage, you can like things. But if someone really starts to have a go, it's sometimes better to just think, don't worry, I'm posting again tomorrow. And then tell them how to use it. So here you are. We've told you about your apples. We've told you how many different ones we've got. Now we're going to give you a recipe for apple pie. Oh, and by the way, we love it with our ice cream. So not only have you now told them how to use the product they're going to buy, you've actually linked it with something else as well. You can take that very simple scenario to create 3 posts, whether it's over a week or whatever, for virtually anything that you want to do. But you've got to keep it going, and you need to keep sort of fresh ideas. So follow your fellow retailers. You know, we're not close enough to each other to be stealing everything, but share and you'll see what else people are up to. And you might go, oh, that's a good idea. I could do that. And get that interaction going. Follow the trade magazines. Always a great way to actually get up-to-date news, especially on something like LinkedIn, where you can again share that post. So it's a post that you don't have to do any work for, because you can actually share what's already come out in the news. So, for example, recently, you know, we can't use the term probiotics in the UK. The French decided, their regulatory bodies, they'd had enough of not doing this because everyone other than the industry were using the word probiotics. So they overturned the ruling and said, we're going to allow it on labels. So the trade press puts that out. You could actually share that post. You haven't had to write it. You just share their post, passing on the information to your consumers, shows you're informed, keeps you informed. Follow the suppliers. Some suppliers, again, are very good at social posts. So, and they're not always about the product. They will do ones. It could be a recipe. It could be a craft tip. It could be something about the country that the product's produced in. Again, it can give you more information to share that you don't have to write. So it's saving you time. And don't forget to tag your posts if you're featuring a product. Lots of companies will actually reshare your post for you, or they'll like it, or they'll comment. If you do that, your reach becomes further. And then Instagram and Facebook love you even more, and you start to go up because the algorithms are seeing you. So don't forget, you know, if you're showing, oh, look, I've got BioD's washing up liquid in stock, tag BioD, because they are one of the brands that they will share what you post. So you'll see and get to find the ones that do and the ones that don't. It's always worth, I mean, I'm a big fan of link selling and cross promotions, but link selling in particular. It can be a really easy win for extra profit and increased sales, but more importantly, a more satisfied customer, because if 2 products are going to work more effectively, they're going to get a result quicker, they're going to love you forever, and they're going to tell their friends they love you forever, which is the best form of advertising you can get. Don't force it. Use those natural connections. The obvious one, shampoo with a conditioner. You know, oh, did you know we've got a matching conditioner for that? Or we've got a leave-in hair treatment. Multivitamin with a friendly flora. Your vitamin C if you're cold. Okay, well, have you seen we've got olive leaf? Something like B complex, because they're coming in because they're stressed and, you know, it's exam time. You've got a whole range of products you can recommend, from a herbal tea through to essential oils. And what you're saying to the consumer is, right, while you're here, may I just show you this? This is something that you haven't got to take with that, but if you do, it can give you perhaps a better or quicker benefit. Let them know you're trying to support them. It's a suggestion. It's not that pushy hard sell, because we all know ourselves. We don't like that. We'd walk away. Create a little bit of auto suggestion. You've got hair, skin and nail formulas, but they're over in the supplement section. Well, take a single one or 2 or 3 and put them in your hair care section. Because 9 times out of 10, when a customer comes in thinking they want something from their hair, they'll go to the shampoos first. They might not even know that you stock a vitamin or a supplement that's going to help. And simple dual citing of products can actually make a big difference. Create meal idea suggestions, everything you need. You know, you've got your pasta, your sauce, your tinned beans, your pesto. It doesn't have to be ultra complicated, but you can use that one product that's on promotion to suddenly stick a load more things in. And never, ever be afraid to ask them, did you find everything you were looking for? Or can I help you find anything? Are you looking for something? Would you like some help? They'll always be the ones that will just go, no, thanks, or, you know, don't speak to me. But very often when you say, have you found everything you're looking for today? They'll go, oh, actually, yeah, I came in for so-and-so, but they got distracted on the way around. It can be another simple way of suddenly putting another product in that basket without appearing to do, you know, a pushy, aggressive sell. You might have 2 promotions that can run side by side. You know, you might have one direct from a supplier and you might have something from your wholesaler. If you've got chickpeas and tahini, suddenly you can create a joint promotion and sell both products with a simple hummus recipe. You know, maybe you've got lemon juice and olive oil as well. Perhaps you've got muesli and yogurts on special offer. Create a breakfast promotion. Lunchbox ideas. Your rice cakes are on promotion, but why not include snack bars, peanut butter, your canned drinks? Again, so much of this, when you look at it, you might think, oh, that's really simple, or it's not that exciting, but it can be a very easy way to suddenly create that buzz in store. There are no hard, fast rules. Be bold and be a bit brave. Ask your staff for ideas, because we all get tired. We all forget something that we think we know. You could find that they say, oh, well, actually, I've tried this and this. You know, at home, I always use those 2 together. Suddenly you've got something different happening. And sharing is caring. Make sure everyone knows what's going on. You've got the beautiful display, you've got all your promotional prices set up, you've got all the stock. Do all the staff know what's going on? Whether it's a Saturday staff, whether it's part-time, full-time, whoever, make sure everyone knows what's going on. Because if the customer needs a deal explaining to them, can everyone do it? Can everyone talk everyone through that promotion? Does everyone know what lines are included, but also what's not included? Because I know sometimes suppliers do come up with complicated promotions where 3 flavours are in, but for some reason 1 flavour isn't. Does everyone know what to do with it? If it's something that's going to sell fast, does everyone know to keep an eye on, or are you going to designate one person, keep an eye on it so that you keep, especially if it's that very, you know, impulse snack food, keep it stacked up, keep it filled up so that it looks fresh all the time and you keep selling it. And when the promotion is finished, make sure everyone knows it's finished. All your point of sale is removed. All the last few products are removed, so you don't get that embarrassing bit again where someone's trying to work out the promotion and trying to buy something and it's not actually there. There's always a win competition from somebody around. Is it worth bothering? I think it actually is, because again, it can take that bit of hassle out for you, because the company will provide you with your kit to create the window. You don't have to go and think about, how am I going to put something in? They've given it to you. There can be some great prizes, whether it's a cash prize or vouchers or free stock or a meal voucher for you and the staff. There's often, you know, some nice prizes to be have. Saves you thinking what to do, which is anything that makes life easier in your busy day is a good thing. And even if you don't win, you will have usually bought the products in on a good promotion, plus had some super point of sale, much of which you might be able to reuse. And it just keeps your window fresh for your existing consumers and your ones that are passing by that could be a new consumer wondering what's going on. So I would always say, take part in as many as you possibly can. And if you're really lucky and you train your reps well, they'll build the window for you. So never be afraid to ask. Can you give me a hand doing this? The NTB team will hate me for saying that, but I know a lot of them will often help build windows. So then you've done it all. You've got to actually see, what did it actually do for my store? Always review, revise where you need to, and repeat what you've done. So at the end of every promotion, take 5 minutes or so to evaluate it. What worked? Was there something that really stood out to you that, one product really sold, but something else didn't? What didn't work? Why didn't it work? Is there something you could have done differently? Did it boost sales? Was it existing customers buying it? Did it bring new customers in? What could you improve on? Is there something that you look at it and think, I wish I'd done that? Don't just regret it. Repeat that next time. Do that next time. What would you do again? And what wouldn't you do again? Have a look at it. Be a little bit critical. It's not just a fun part to just do something. This is building your business. There's nothing wrong with occasionally asking your regular customers, what are they looking for in a promotion? What do you like to see? Do you like buy one, get one? Do you like a package? Do you prefer money off? Do you like a gift with purchase? Because again, that helps you create and generate your promotion activity. And then when you've done all that, you set up your next promotion and start all over again. We as an industry work really hard in doing what we do, and we're very good at it. And I think with groups like Health Stores UK actively encouraging suppliers, and we do this with NTB, we're encouraging brands to actually, highlight, here we are available in your local health food store. And there are certain brands that actually aren't in the multiples. So they are also good ones to get behind. We care about what we do. It's not just, I'm going to work in a shop today. We genuinely care and are passionate about our industry. We create a very safe space for our customers. And how many times do you sort of feel you've got a customer that maybe you're the only person they've spoken to that week? We actually create somewhere special for them to go. We give advice that has the potential to change life. And one of the things I missed when I actually left sort of retailing and first became a trainer was I missed seeing the customers come back. Because I'd do an Instore and I'd sort of talk to people and give out lots of advice, but I wouldn't see the result, because I used to love nothing better than someone coming back going, wow, changing that in my diet or taking that supplement made a difference to me. So we have a very sort of powerful position that we should be very honoured that we hold. We can make our customers feel very valued, and we do make a difference. We can act as a hub for all sorts of local activities. Your activity and your promotional work in store doesn't have to be just around products. It could be a local beach cleanup. It could be a local eco-friendly recycling group, local practitioners, local mental health cafes. There's all sorts of things that we can actually tie into, and people come to us in the store for the information. We are very much a new products industry. And some of you might remember that years ago, Solgar used to bring Danny Wells, who was a retailing guru. He used to come over and do a lot of demonstrations, a lot of lecturing over here, talking about good tips for retailing and how to run your store effectively. And one of the things I always remembered from what he said was, we are a new products industry. We should not be afraid or upset if the product we started off selling becomes mainstream. We should actually be proud, because we as an industry made that happen. We woke people up to a particular food or a supplement or a way of life. And the best bit is, there will be another new product coming along soon. A supermarket customer will always stop in a supermarket, but a health food customer, even if they do shop in a supermarket, will still come back to the health food store. So don't sort of get so overwrought if something's going into a supermarket. You can choose not to sell it, but give yourself a little pat on the back that actually I helped make that product become mainstream by waking everyone up to something that's doing them good. There will always be new products for us to champion and actually move forwards. as an industry, we are very actively supporting the health of the nation. That was shown by the fact that when the first lockdown happened, associations like the HFMA actively worked with the government to get critical status, key worker status for the health food industry. So our stores could stay open, the factories could stay open, we could keep producing products, sales teams could stay on the road. With changing habits within the NHS, so many ailments now where you're told, don't visit your GP, whether it's athlete's foot or itchy skin or fungal nails. There's lots of little conditions, everyday conditions, that now they don't want to see people for. We are very well placed in this industry to actually promote what we can do and how we can help. And we can still do that within guidelines. We're not diagnosing, we're not prescribing, but we're helping people look after their health. So we actually have a very important position within the community. And I think, the high street is changing. There's no way around that, but we do have ways that we can actually try and keep the buzz going. We can keep people wanting to come into our shops by keeping it fresh and doing something different and providing that very valuable service. So thank you very much for listening. I hope that wasn't too much, I've tried all of that, or I hope there's even just one or two things that you have come up with, and you can try. And I think the key thing is to try and remember, ask the questions. When your reps come in, when your brands present to you, don't be afraid to ask, what does it mean for me? How can I make it work in store? Use the skills of your staff. You will be surprised at what a little brainstorming session can do when everyone starts thinking, what can we do with this area? How can we make that look better? And just be brave. Don't think, that won't work. Give it a go. If it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. You just might have to rearrange a few shelves and start again. So I hope it's been useful. Hopefully I haven't gone on for too long and we've got some time now. If there's any questions and just sort of chat about what's going on in your store, I'll stop share off, and hopefully I'm going to see that people are still there when I do this. I won't find it's just an empty screen. So there we go. Everyone's still there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Theresa. That was, so interesting. And I think we all just need need reminders every now and again and new ideas. I know for me, there's things that we used to do in the shop. There's things we used to do with samples and things like that. But like you say, now we're not giving out bags anymore. I will confess that we've got drawers of samples and we need to do something with them more. So it's always good to have sessions, just lots and lots of ideas. So that's fab. Thank you. So does anyone have any questions? You can pick yourself up.
I just wanted to say, Theresa, that was very, very good. And you touched on a lot of remembering for us. I really liked how you ended it as well. It's really good to remember that sometimes it's our own abilities that we need to say and market, and certainly offering kind of a vitamin self-check where we get whatever vitamins they've got in the cupboard that they can't remember what they're for, we can come in and offer the best time for them to take it and go through and see if they're actually on the right things for them. Something like that can suddenly add another 20 quid sale to the bag. So, there's so many little, if we just think left field a little bit, it's a great way of kind of seeing how we can change things up and really market ourselves and realize how good we are, really. So that was fab. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Theresa, that was just marvelous. I really, really enjoyed. I've made 10 pages of notes, truly.
Oh, coming from you, I'm very honoured. Thank you, Cheryl.
Well, every day's school day, right? But a couple of things I really took away. Like every health food shop, we have a wall full of supplements. But the thought of putting some hair care products from the beauty section into the supplement section, I've never thought of, and I really like that, because we get a lot of women thinning hair, and we sell a lot of hair care supplements, we sell a lot of hair care products, but to put cross promotions through there, I like that. The other one I thought was a gem was family recipes. I thought that was beautiful, because to me that brings the experiential thing of food, a product bag of all those goodies within that to sell, but also the personal stories of the staff who work in the shop. I absolutely love that. And I've made it in a highlighter pen, the pieces that I'm going to take back to the shop tomorrow. But I like the idea that reps have secret promotions. So
well, that's it.
One of my hats will be to make sure they're not doing too much, and the other hat will be to absolutely rape and pillage all our reps that come into the shop. So I didn't know about these. Did anybody else hands up? Do you know about secret promotions? Have you ever heard of such a thing?
I think it's just sometimes you just need to ask. I mean, we deal a lot with Schoolycast, which we work with Schoolycast across both teams, HTB and NTB. They always have a list of bulk promotions that are available all year round on tahini, on soap, on olives. It's not always a deal that you want because they're quite big deals, but actually if you know they're there and you can plan ahead a bit.
In our shop we did sorry, were you saying schooly cares? What is that?
Schoolycast, so Sanita.
Oh, okay. Sanita.
So they do their Sanita, Hellenic oils, Oliva soap, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But their parent company is Schoolycast.
We bought in something for, I won't name brands, I don't want to undermine NTB, but there was a brand of something we bought in from CLF, and we thought we'd never sell as much as we did. We did the Fiver Fest event through Totally Locally, and oh my God, we sold hundreds of these bath salt type products. And the annoying thing was CLF wouldn't do the deal the following year. But we sold hundreds and hundreds, and we'd filled our promo table right at the front with, I think we sold, I'd be lying if I said, but I think it was upwards of 500 of these things, because they were buy 3 for a £5, and we bought them in, so the deal we could afford to do that. We lost no margin. But it was just tremendous. So I think when you do sometimes put things in quantity, in bulk, and you take a bit of a punt on them, it's different if it's like a mock dairy product that's only got a week's shelf life. But if you've got something that you know is going to last a bit longer, I think it's well worth it, just buying in bulk and getting the deal. And then, because consumers, I hate calling them consumers, but customers, they really like that. So I'll shut up now. But yeah, thank you. I'm very enthusiastic about this. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just to carry on from that, though, I mean, the other thing that definitely I've kind of written all over my piece of paper is that plan, because if you've got the plan, that's when you can go to your suppliers and your rep and say, right, okay, I'm planning on doing this. How can you support me on this? And often they will come back and say, okay, we'll go with these 5 products and we'll do them on a 4+1 or 3+1 or whatever. They want to get space in your store, they want to get a display area. But if you've kind of not done that planning, then you're almost being led by somebody walking in the door and saying, this is what I've got for you, and this is what I've got for you. So then you go, okay, that sounds like a good deal, right, I'm going to buy all that. But then when it comes in, it sits in the back and you've not done enough with it. So I think it's and I say this, then I don't always necessarily, I'm not always ahead of myself like I might like to be, but is that kind of going, right, this is what I want to do, how can you help me with it? So you know exactly. And the same you were saying with the point of sale, which I thought was really relevant. Everything that comes into your store, know how you're going to use it, because there is nothing worse than stuff that kind of goes in the back and someone's dropped it in, and yes, it looks very nice, but how are you using it? Because there's absolutely no point, and you've got a big display unit and you're thinking, I really don't need that, and that just is, it's waste, and it's no good.
And you pay to have that taken away with your recycling if you don't use it. And so it's not just, it's filling up out the back. I remember at one point I was out with Ruth, and we were just visiting some accounts, and we went to one store and we walked out the back, and while we were waiting, we saw this point of sale stacked up. We found some stuff that was 10 years old. And because we've both done this for a long time, we knew it was 10 years old and just stacked up. And not only is that taking up a load of space in your store, it's also that money that the company spent. When brands say to us, oh, well, producing point of sale is really expensive, which it is. And if you then find people aren't using it, you think, well, why am I bothering? Why will I, why do I produce that? So I think, again, it's just thinking about, where can I put it? What can I do with it? Is it something I can repurpose into something else as well? because it might be.
Yeah, I contacted suppliers quite a while ago now and did specifically request that they don't send things unless we've asked for them.
Yeah.
There's even leaflet.
I think we've lost Joe a second.
Yeah, my screen's frozen.
Yeah, I think we're probably running out of our time, Neville. But one thing I'll say is as well, when we're talking about creating individual kind of deals, there's quite a few really good poster companies. Canva's one of them, but there's quite a few different ones you will find, not to promote one company. But basically, if you want to design your own poster there, they've got pre-gens already that you can kind of make it look really professional, add your own brand into, and hey presto, you've got whatever you wanted to design on whatever product you'd want to link together. It's a way of us getting professional marketing on a really tight budget, but making it look effective. I've been playing a lot with that this year because they do loads of Instagram posts as well. It's a fabulous company. But yeah, you know, these are all things.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And it can be free as well if you don't I use the pro account, but you don't have to. You can use free account. And a little tip, you upload your store logo, it will match the colors and you create a brand pack. So suddenly all your borders and everything, it tells you what colors are in there, so you create that. And if you're using photographs, if you want lifestyle images, please don't just grab them from Google Images, because someone will come along and sue you. But Canva you can use a lot from. There's Pexels and there's Unsplash. Both of those are free, and you can get really glossy, high-tech lifestyle images of all sorts of things, and that's free, and that becomes, you know, a picture in your newsletter and that sort of thing.
No, that's good.
Sorry, I could go on for hours about stuff like that. I'll shut up.
Well, I think
any questions from anyone else, but then we probably are at our time. Everyone's ready for getting home.
I think this has been really fascinating. I think we're probably at the maximum of what we can take on board for tonight. So lovely again. Thank you so much, Theresa. It's been a real education, and we will see how we can put it all into practice now.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the HFMA stand because I'm part of the comms team at the HFMA as well. So if you're at Nope, come and see me on the stand and say hello.
Oh, thank you very much.